cheat for this program, so I'm not sure why.
Like a soundboard or something?
Yeah, it's like a soundboard.
I see.
But it's not letting me use it. But anyways,
Right.
let's get into it. It is now spooky season. It is October 7th. Welcome back to another episode of the Same Shit Different Day podcast. Today, it has taken us a while and a lot of technical difficulties. We finally have the one and only Mr. BlazeNPlays on. I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead and say hi, Blaze.
What's up, everybody? My name is Blaze. I am a horror genre streamer. Mostly play a lot of the horror games, and I also do other cool things. So check out my streams. I am on Twitch and TikTok. Also upload my videos to YouTube. BlazeNPlays. BlazeNPlays live on TikTok. But yeah, what's up, everyone?
Yes, it is I'm so happy to have you on here, especially now that it's October, spooky season. I'm excited. I'm pretty sure you're excited. You're playing a lot of new horror games right now. What's one that's your favorite that you're playing right now?
So far, my favorite horror genre for right now is got to be Dying Light.
Mm-hmm.
Very reminiscent of like a Dead Island game, and that's a game that came out a while ago, and just haven't had any kind of game where a good zombie slasher exploration, cool missions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dying Light's got to be my favorite game right now. Second to Stalker, though, I do got to say, but yeah, right now it's Dying Light.
So one of my favorite horror games is actually the one that you're playing right now, The Last of Us, but the second game. The reason why I feel like the second one is more, I guess you could say, suspenseful or scarier. I don't want to ruin it, hopefully, but there's these different types of zombies in the second game. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've been playing the first one. As you see, they kind of just roam around and you kind of find the zombies and kill them.
Right.
I hope I'm not butchering this, but I believe they're called stalker zombies. So it's like if you're running through a dark part of the map and you're using your light and you hear noises and you know that you can use your sense to see where they are in the game, right? That little that sense where like it highlights them.
Oh, the zombie sense, yeah.
Yeah. So you can still do that, but these zombies they don't highlight, so it's harder for you to see them, and that's why they're called stalkers, is because when you're moving around, they're following you. And there's been times when I've been playing that game and I look behind me and you see them. The game developers purposely made them peek through corners to freak you out. So as soon as you turn the light to them, they disappear. So that really has been one of my favorite horror games. I would say I'm excited for you to play. If anyone knows or anyone in Blaze's chat is here, you've probably seen me in his chat. I watch him play a lot, and I don't think I've told you this. You're actually a pretty decent Dying Light player.
I appreciate that.
I've seen you do some missions, and you're pretty good. Better than I would say. Myself. I've died a couple of times running at night, but you're pretty good at it. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks, man. So that reminds me of those crying angel statues from that. What's that doctor? Man, what's that? That really cool Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. I've never seen that show, but my brother has. Yeah.
There's an episode where there's the weeping angels, and basically the same thing. They're just statues that, when you're looking at them, they're not doing anything, but you turn away and then you look behind, and then all of a sudden they're right behind you, trying to grab you and stuff. Yeah. That's what that reminds me of. So that's pretty cool.
Is there anything that gives you the heebie-jeebies?
The heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
I guess underwater stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah, just because our ocean is unexplored, and not even so much just like the water itself, it's just what is in it that we can't see. So there's now this part in Dying Light 2 of this map where it's like that sunken city, and there's like some parts where you have to go underneath, and that part has been the most frightening for me. Is just not being able to navigate clearly underneath water, and
I share that
it made
with
it all
you.
murky, and yeah, I can't.
I have a deep fear of the ocean. I can't. I can't be out there not knowing. Yeah, it's like the same. What's underneath me, what's around me. I
Yep,
you won't see me anywhere near the ocean, people, and me and Blaze will be on land.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
We
I don't
just
try.
saw.
I don't
Go
stay in
ahead.
the ocean for far too long. So no.
Yeah, big fears of mine. Um, so how long have you been Twitch streaming for?
I would say about on a dedicated actual streaming decision for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Same time as my wife. It was actually the idea was to actually get her started streaming, and
Mm-hmm.
actually found it intriguing, very intriguing myself, and kind of started it. And it's allowed me to break out of my shell, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also helped me in my career too, which is pretty cool. Just being able to talk to people, being more open-minded to like new ideas, and hanging out with different people that I really wouldn't normally hang out with, and now we're like really cool friends. It's
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
How far do you see yourself taking this?
I see myself continuing as much as I can. Honestly, it's nothing that I really it's nothing that I'm really what is it, like forced to do. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that I like to do and love to
Mm-hmm.
do. And I've always reminded myself to keep it at something that I like to do and love to do. Don't ever push myself to the point where I feel like it's work. And at some point, maybe eventually, if it gets to that point, then obviously there's going to be more higher level decisions, such as, well, I got to hire this person or that person so I can continue to maintain that level of I still enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all about levels of there's levels to the streaming thing, right? And
Right.
I think there's a lot of people who have paved that path, and it's just about replicating what that success is. It really is as simple as that, and also just being yourself and doing new things. That's what that does. That is what gets noticed. I'm noticing now more and more that it's not so much of like the dramatic, like, or not even dramatic. It's like what is being caught fame now. It's not so much more of the aggressive stuff. It's not like the prank stuff. All the prank stuff, like the hurtful prank stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like stealing people's phones, or maybe like hitting people with like water or something harmless that seems harmless, but is still kind of like causing like a kind of a physical kind of something to somebody else. Like that stuff is being called out now. So you're not seeing more aggressive physical pranks anymore. It's more of like the funny ones, where you don't really affect or touch other people. You kind of just make them laugh, and then everybody moves on with their day. Like those are the more pranks that you see, which I really do appreciate. And I think that's also kind of forming itself in the streaming space outside of Kick, though, because Kick is just it's in a weird spot right now.
Yeah.
So ignore Kick. Everywhere else, though, it's kind of like this space.
Kick out of your life.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. And like only for me is because they're just super irresponsible right now as to like what they're allowing, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, people go to extreme lengths just to get views, and it's kind of, hard to get behind because, I like what you say. You're doing it because you love doing it, and some people you clearly see that they just want the views and the likes and the clicks. But
Right.
I have a big favorite YouTuber that I love to watch, and he's here. He's a local Texan. He's called Texas Bushman. Harmless pranks. He dresses up as a bush at San Antonio Riverwalk or anywhere that's, high foot traffic. And he dresses up as a bush and just stands up. You can really see the joy in people's faces, especially, again, spooky time. It's October. He's out there doing his work. It really brings joy to people. I was in San Antonio on the Riverwalk with Bia not too long ago. I think it was like last year. And she wasn't feeling too good, so we took a pause right before there was all this green bushes and everything, and we're like, how about we just go upstairs, get something to drink, take a load off. And as soon as we start walking up the stairs, a couple that was behind us kept walking straight and got scared by the Bushman. And I knew him at that point. Like I've seen his videos and everything, and I was like, babe, I gotta go down there and say hi to him. Like this guy, he's hilarious. And then when I talked to him, he's like, I was this close to scaring you guys, but you turned the corner and went up. And I was like, it would have been an honor to been scared by you. And another prank that I love watching is Brazilians are actually really good pranksters. They're pretty funny. There's this one prank that I wouldn't say they invented, but I think is really been popular by them, is that there's these two pranksters walking, again, more high foot traffic, and one is holding up pamphlets, hey, you want a pamphlet? No. And then this other prankster who's in on the joke, he's coming in, he's like, no, I don't want it. And so the guy handing the pamphlets kicks him and forces him to take it. And behind him, the next couple or family sees that happen, and they start taking his pamphlets because they don't want to be abused like him. And so it's a harmless prank that didn't happen to anyone. He's in on the joke, and they're just like, okay, I'm gonna just take this. I don't want to mess with this guy. But it's very funny. Harmless pranks are it's good all around. No one wants to do any of that, hurt anyone or make them feel bad and things like that.
Exactly. And that's kind of where I think a lot of where the streaming space is starting to come around to, where you're going to have your super hype streamers, which they're doing their own thing. You're pretty much being invited to the party. And there's a lot of really cool streamers like that, like Kai Sanat, And,
oh, yeah.
But then you got your really extreme, I would say like extreme side of streamers, which we're not even going to touch. Again, most of those are on Kick. But then most of what you're seeing a lot now is the cool, like the chill, or like the party, but like none of this like aggressive going around trolling other people. Like unless they're like playing like their own game, like their own single game, like Fade, who plays Apex. Super good at Apex. Very popular Twitch streamer. And he doesn't do anything besides just play his game and troll the people that he's facing. And that's that. He's not actively going onto other streams or causing like trouble with other people. He's just doing his own thing and chilling. And I think for that's what I tell myself is, as long as I continue to do what I like to do, which is just play the games that I want to play and hang out and chill, I'm going to meet those people that want to do the same or enjoy those vibes and want to hang out, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, man, especially after the pandemic. And I feel like people just need to relax. And there's that similar sentiment across many people.
I agree with you that on as well. Like, we're all human beings. We can all get together. We don't have to be in such anger. And like, I just recently took a vacation, and it was South Padre Island, and it's kind of separated from, it's like it's a big bridge that connects it. It's still civilized and everything like that, pretty close to Mexico. But it just, once we got on the island, everything felt a lot slower. People weren't in a rush. No one was really angry at each other. Everyone just kind of took their time doing things. And it's just coming back, closer to the city is just, you see that mindset is different. People are just miserable. They just want to get to their place as fast as they can, get it over with. And it's just, they're taking themselves too serious. We're here, to live life. We're not here to make someone rich. So do what you want to do that makes you happy and, that you love to do. Don't be out here just like stressing yourself out, because in the long run, your health is what matters. Your sanity is what matters. So do what you love, And
right, exactly.
Yeah, no, let's get back on topic here. I love going off topic with you, because we could go for hours, but there's a couple more questions I want to ask you.
For sure. Yeah.
I want to get to know about Blaze a little bit more. What it was like in your childhood and going to school for you. How was that?
So going to school for me was just in a kind of public environment where public school. I was born and raised in Michigan, and ever since I would say, let me close my window for a second. Give me one moment.
No problem.
So, where I was raised was basically back in Michigan, and born and raised back in Michigan, and it's
Mm-hmm.
basically a public school environment setting. Very similar experiences, I believe. So you always had your bullies, you had your jocks, you had all your different cliques, right? I feel like through my middle school, through high school, I feel like I kind of experimented with different styles of like clothing and who I wanted to be, just really discovering myself, right? So I was a goth. I was like the Mr. T wearing all the chains.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't really know what through high school I kind of wore. I just kind of just wore what was I thought just cool, I guess. I don't know. There wasn't really anything like special or like name brand or anything. I didn't really focus on labels and stuff.
What
It was more
music were you
about just
listening to?
there was a lot of electronic and heavy metal at that time, and so
Nice.
um, right, I think right at the end um, of high school, and I was starting to learn my I was starting to go for my desktop support certificate. It was basically some Microsoft certificates.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I was listening to some classical music, which was actually different. Yeah, exactly. So started getting introduced into that, um, and then I I mostly had as far as my experience in like childhood and whatnot. I would say I mostly had a really great childhood. I would thank my parents for that. They put me through sports, the martial arts. There was a lot of like what's the word, discipline that I was
Discipline.
taught very early on. So I didn't have to feel like I had to fight anybody. It was kind of cool though to have gone through martial arts just because I could see when people are getting mad and learning
Mm-hmm.
from my sensei at the time as to like not to engage or how to avoid those kind of energies and people. So it was more about just staying out of trouble really, which really helped me a lot because towards high school and the end of it, I did start hanging out with the wrong group of people and just really didn't focus on education too much at that point, which in retrospect, you know, we could all change things, and that might have been the one thing I could change is just focus on school a bit better. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to school now, so I'm in my last year of my computer information systems degree.
Yeah.
It's a business degree, so sorry that was my cat.
No, it's
Um,
okay.
but yeah, so it was I would say just more more like the grassy. If you've ever seen the grassy, just a lot of drama, right? There
I
was
think
no
I just
shootings, thankfully, but like,
with Drake,
but
right? That's the show you're talking about?
yeah, it was
Okay.
Drake. Yeah, and there was like no shootings and stuff that I thankfully experienced. But yeah, there was all kinds of things like drugs. You had like all your drama,
Mm-hmm.
all that. Yeah, all that in that show. So basically that.
So you were pretty disciplined, you say. Did you felt like you ever
Yeah.
lost it and almost got into a fight or anything like that? Was that ever in your,
No,
I
I
guess,
wouldn't say
character?
so.
No?
No, it actually helped me get out of football just because I found football to be too aggressive for me
Mm-hmm.
and like yeah, team sports and all that, but that was just one sport where I just wasn't vibing with it, and it wasn't anything particular with the team. Like I was cool with the players and whatnot, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes when I'm trying to play and hang out with friends or whatnot, just having that super type of aggression, it was a lot of energy for me. It was more metaphysical energy than
Mm-hmm.
it was like any actual trouble. I just enjoy it, you know?
Right, right. I mean, sometimes trouble finds you, and sometimes people go looking for trouble. So
Yeah,
it's
trouble
good
found
that.
me for sure. Trouble found me for sure in other ways during in high school. But as far as like actually me actively going out and seeking it, no.
Right, you seem like a pretty good person, kind of, in your ways, and yeah, I'm not sure why some people are just aggressive in many ways, but I think it's always about an underlying issue, anger, or something happening at home that they always just try to take it out to other
Right,
people in public. But
right,
I've always found that if you're angry, go and try a martial arts. It really helps. It helped me because I was very, very angry. I was bullied a lot in middle school. I was angry at that. I was mad that I couldn't defend myself, and I felt like I needed to learn how to defend myself. And when I did, I calmed down a lot. I said, I don't need to go and show this off or go and fight the first person I see. It's more what I've learned, and the discipline I've received. It made me feel a lot better about myself, and it gave me more confidence to do other things, to get a better job, actually. Because before that, I didn't have the confidence. I thought I was just going to work, regular, grocery store jobs. But I felt like being able to have that confidence within myself, it made me want to tackle other things in my life. So, yeah, I feel like it was always a great thing learning martial arts, and I'm glad to see that it worked out for you too as well.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it did. I feel like I learned a lot with martial arts and helped me navigate a lot of situations for sure. So we definitely have that similar experience.
Do you
That's good to
practice
hear.
to the same?
I don't yet. I do want to practice Aikido with my wife. We want to. That's our next. That's the one where you use like the opponents or the other
Strengths,
person's. Yeah, exactly. Their momentum and what they do and stuff against them, and not just for the physical, but as mentioned before, the metaphysical. I'm really interested as to what they teach and the insights provided there as to how to mentally use and like push that negative energy back to people and stuff. I feel like I do an all right job of that now, just because I've been reading a lot of self-help books for years now, since like I want to say like 2012 around there, and to this day I'm still reading self-help books. Like the one I'm reading right now is Psycho-Cybernetics.
Psycho-Cybernetics.
Yeah, and it's basically talking about how we have a automatic system in our brain which follows our initiatives, our motives, our wants, and it's about tuning that and being able to direct this energy of what you want towards exactly what you want, and they're like the good things of what you want, not the negative things. Because if you put, so for example, is like if you put your energy and your mind towards, oh, well, I got to pay these bills, well, you're going to get more bills in your life, versus you should be thinking all my bills are paid, or I have everything covered. And if you start thinking in that sense, over time you'll start seeing that's your reality. So it's things like that, changing your mindset and whatnot. So Aikido, I feel like, would be able to do that, help me refine a lot of what I'm trying to understand in that realm.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people, I mean, 5 years are going to pass, 10 years are going to pass. What you do with that time, it's ultimately up to you. And we can always keep learning. Don't limit yourself after high school to stop learning. You can continue learning and be a better person. Learn a new language, per se. We're here to explore. I mean, I think it's in our nature to explore and to want to get out and to find things and to learn. So, I mean, don't limit yourself. There's a whole world out there to us. We're not just limited to the state that we live in or the county lines or the neighborhoods, out there and learning about different cultures and something that's always inspired me. I love learning about different cultures and how they interact within their communities and what they do to keep themselves healthy. I mean, even mushrooms is something that a lot of cultures do to eat because it provides a lot of neurological stimulation, I believe, and it even connects some nerve brain cells that we've never had before. And it just gives a lot of clarity to people. And I even heard that it helps with a lot of migraines. It even helps with a lot of people's just depression as well. Just being able to feel better about yourself. And I know mushrooms can work in a lot of different ways like that. Even when it comes to medicinal marijuana, I feel like those two things, one of the most natural things in the world that you can get, that no one has put in a lab to go ahead and to make it a benefit for people. This is grown from the earth and we've banned it. But things like, per se, heroin or cocaine, I mean, they're still coming out of certain plants, but they've taken that plant and put it into something else. With marijuana, it's just basically grab it out of the bud, do what you want with it there. You can even make hemp and things natural to yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that they use it for medical, you know, for painkillers and Vicodin, things that needed for people in that area.
For
But
sure.
the fact that they've pushed it so far to where there's that epidemic, that opioid epidemic now, there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are homeless because they've been addicted to it, and they just push that so much on people. It's like, how do you ban the other things that are better for people because you can't charge and tax it because anyone can grow it and live off of it? And it's just so upsetting to see. And I'm glad that there's other countries and cultures out there that really do see the benefit into it, and you can see that their lifestyles, and everything like that. It's really good. But here I go going off track again, Blaze. You got to keep me in order.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Let's see. So we've been talking about where you grew up and went to school, and got to know you a little bit better. Is there anything out there that people wouldn't expect you to have as a hobby? Something that out of the ordinary.
Sorry. Can you not rephrase that? But say it one more time.
Yeah, I mean, like we know you as you play video games and you're very much into Excel spreadsheets. That's what you do for work. What do you do that's if we were to look at you and say, like, I would not expect him to have that hobby. Is there anything like that you have, or you're pretty much
okay,
who you are?
Yeah, I thought you meant like what was like expected in like my work and or something. Okay,
no.
I completely misheard that the first time. All right. Okay, yeah. So outside of work, school, streaming, I'm also experimenting with music production. Recently picked up Ableton and a synthesizer. So I've been very recent. So I also have a music theory for computer musicians book, which is basically teaching me how to use these DAW applications, like Ableton and whatnot. So what the book that I'm learning is from Ableton. It is more about the Ableton example, so it's very helpful. And so, yeah, I've just been taking my time, and with priorities and stuff with school and work, clearly it's taking a little bit longer. Just, I know in the summer I'll be able to focus more, so I'm still just continuing. I also do like DJing and as well. But what motivated me to do music production is to eventually mix my own music. So that's the goal. And I already had a request to remix a Christmas song. The Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas Is You." So I'm already
release it on Spotify. Let's go.
Right. That one might be a kind of a SoundCloud or something because it's got a remix, but
right. Copyrights and all that.
And I get the copyrights exactly. So like my actual like my own personal projects, of course, that's going to be blasted everywhere. So yeah, like I looked up how to like post it on like these other applications like Spotify, Tidal, and like it's a really cool journey. I feel good when I explore music. It's always helped me out in my life, whether it's just getting through certain times, making special moments, or helping with school recently. It's been huge. So
yeah, I mean, big respect to all artists. They really put a lot of their heart in their songs that they write. I mean, if you listen to a lot of lyrics and you really like sit down and listen to it, you can see that a lot of pain and hurt that a lot of artists have gone through in their lives, and they put it into a song. And when they sing it or when they perform it, you really just see all of that come through. And it's just, it's a great thing to see all the time. And I respect artists because that takes quite a bit of time, just going back and forth, creating a beat out of nothing. Like, honestly, just is amazing to me. But that's big respect. I mean, breaking news as well, guys. We're going to have DJ Blaze is what it's going to be. Well, I don't know if that's what the name is going to be, but it sounds like a good name so far. So yeah, whenever his records come out, be sure to drop a track and share it to everyone you know.
I think with the music part, it's just a little bit more. That's like one of the more intimidating. So I kind of have like I struggle with opening up, and that's kind of goes back to where we started talking about with streaming and how I started streaming. And if you look at my first, I don't even know if I ever recorded. I should have. I think I have some old videos, but not like the very first videos of when I started streaming. But there's still even a difference between then and now. And yeah, I just remember just not being as talkative, being super nervous about having to like, oh, I gotta make sure I am attentive, or gotta make sure that I don't look like bored or something. I never was bored. It's just like these things that you think of, you know? So
Yeah, you get really focused into it, and some people see it as
yeah,
something different, and you're kind of just in the zone. Um, and this funny you say that is that a lot of people always think I'm a really aggressive person just because I have this look on my face like I'm mad, but I'm not. I'm just thinking. Like, what if a bear? I'm just thinking, like, what if a bear just fell in the woods? Like, would anyone help him, or is he just gonna stay there hurt, or what happened? I mean, I just think of the most random things, and I have just this weird look on my face. And I've asked my wife, like, do you think I'm not an approachable guy just the way I look? And she says yes. But when you start talking, that people see how nice you are and that you're actually really friendly. But the look on you is like, don't fuck with me look. I mean, I got tattoos that, I mean, if you look at them, you probably think like I've gone through some shit, but I just really like culture. And it's called the Vijvisir. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
It's a compass that the Vikings used to use back in the day. If you look at it or you search it up on Google, you'll see it kind of like as a compass and different drawings in each way: northeast, southwest, northwest, northeast. And they would use this
Okay.
compass as their life to kind of guide them through their lives. Each arrow going up north or south or west would stand either for honor, character, compassion, loyalty. And I think that's something that's great, that you can use in your life to make sure that you kind of stay straight no matter how much those big waves or those storms in the ocean try to hit you and take you off your track or your destination. Just following that. And then under that, I have Hunyin and Munyin, which is Odin's ravens that would always hover above him and let him know if there was any danger in front of him or behind him.
Oh,
And
right.
then below that, I have the Tree of Life. But going through the Tree of Life is Odin's spear. So very cool on that. And then my other side of my hand is what's called Macuajitle. And it was basically the weapon that the Aztecs would use. If I say this, you're probably gonna remember it. I don't know if you've ever gone on Aztec history or anything like that, but it has this like obsidian on the side, and it kind of looks like a chainsaw. You ever seen that weapon?
I have. Now that you're describing it, it's starting to come into what's it called again? Let me look it up.
Macuajitle. And the way I'm saying it, people are going to tell me that I'm wrong because when I've searched this up, it's been pronounced different ways. So I pronounced it as much as I've heard it from, I guess you can say, authentic people that have lived in Mexico for mostly their lives. Macuajitle. Macuajitle. How does he spell it? Macuhuitl.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
See, I've seen that before. Yeah.
I have that tattooed on my other side, but in the middle of it, I have the Aztec calendar, the sun calendar. You know what
Nice.
that is? Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
in the
Oh yeah.
middle. And so I don't look like an approachable guy. I look quite scary to some people. Um, but I'm
I think
all
it's
about
cool.
love. Yes. I love that culture and I love learning about other cultures. One culture I love learning about is Polynesians, Samoans and Tongans. The way that they've lived off their islands and they come together as a whole village and they eat together and they're just a big family. Back in Utah, when I lived in Utah, I had a lot of big Polynesian friends. I even worked with this lady. Her name was Sela. I loved her so much. She was so friendly. but when you saw her from afar, you didn't think she was an approachable woman either. Like she would like beat the shit out of you or something if you said something to her wrong. But she was very, very nice. She invited me and Bia over for Thanksgiving once, and man, they had so much food, but it was so good. And
Man,
I love their families, just how they just come together and they have their parties and everything like that. And Bia, when she used to work as a loss prevention officer, back in I think it was in Utah in West Jordan, she had these two coworkers, big Polynesian, Darius and Jordan were their names. We call them DJ. You know, both one was D, the other one was J. And Blaze, when I'm telling you, these are like 6'4", 300-pound Polynesians, muscle men. Like she would approach. My wife is pretty short, you know. She's and petite as well. So whenever she would approach someone saying, "Hey, you know, I see that you stole that. Please come with me to this office." Who's gonna listen to her? They're gonna step aside and walk out with whatever they stole. But whenever they would do that, she would have D and J right behind her, and they would just pick up they call them apprehensions or shoplifter, and they would pick them up, and they couldn't do anything.
Exactly.
Like one would grab one on the right hand of the other one, and the guy's feet were just swinging, right? And so they had to bring him to the other door to put him in their office. Now, when that happened, people were in the parking lot seeing that happen. And when we have to call the cops, you know, we have to tell them, hey, we need someone down here to, you know, ID this person, or, you know, we're going to criminally trespass him, or we're going to charge him for what he stole. So a cop needs to come down here. So as they were calling the cop, they were like, the dispatcher was like, hey, did you just get like a white man in your office and two guys were helping you? And she was like, yeah, that's two of our employees here, Darius and Jordan. And she's like, oh, okay. Because we just got multiple calls saying that two Polynesian men were kidnapping a white man. And we didn't know who it was. So we just wanted to make sure that was you guys. So they thought they were kidnapping someone.
Right. Oh my gosh. That's great. That's actually great.
So yes, don't mess with Polynesians because they got friends and they will fuck you up.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely. It's crazy you say that because I've been watching some cool videos of like tattoos and like traditions and rituals of Polynesian. Just really cool culture.
Oh, have you seen how they tattoo?
Where they hammer it.
Yeah, it's like a turtle shell. I think it's a turtle shell that they sharpened, and they just use a stick and they tap 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 tap.
Crazy.
They have that in Utah. Authentic tattooing. Because I've been wanting to get one just like that. I think that's my next one I want to get is a traditional Polynesian one. If you can see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, probably the most famous person out there that has a Polynesian tattoo.
Right.
And his is really, really cool. It goes to his chest and comes out to his shoulder. Really, really cool.
Right.
Do you have tattoos? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I don't have tattoos. Nope, I don't have tattoos.
Oh, your body's a temple, right?
I've never really found an artist or a tattoo that really just I gotta have it, you know.
Right.
Not against them. I just haven't really seen one that I like. Really.
Do you have anything planned, like, or you just don't haven't even really found what you look for or want?
Yeah, it's one of those things where if I find it, it'll come across, it'll happen. I've been to some tattoo conventions before, and I've seen some cool artists, and I almost got one back piece of the Mexican eagle.
Ooh.
And so, yeah, so maybe we'll see.
Are you into your heritage at all?
Yeah. I just really haven't thought about like exactly what I want to put on my body. I know that I want to put a lot of Aztec. Like if it was going to be anything, it'd be a lot of Aztec design.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wondered if there is something that's traditional like the Polynesian, and that's kind of why I've always been intrigued in watching those videos. So the tattoos of traditional cultures, because I've always been wondering, like, is there something like that for Aztec or Mexicans, or that'd be really cool if it was specifically Aztec Mexican. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
one I want to really get is called Quetzalcoatl. Have you heard of that?
It sounds familiar. Is that the
The
mountain?
the feathered serpent, I think. I might have even pronounced it wrong. So, I mean, come for me at the comments if you want, but I think it's called Quetzal. To the Aztecs, Quetzalcoatl, as his name indicates, a feathered serpent. He was a creator deity, and having contributed, you got to pay more to read. I'm just playing. Yeah. So, you know what's very interesting about, I guess, our history is that 100,000 miles away in China, they were also have dragons and flying serpents that they have in their history. So the fact that that's also represented in Aztec culture so far away, and also that the pyramids, there's one in Mexico, and then there's one all the way in Egypt. There's one all the way in Antarctica that I never even knew about. Like, this is something that was back in the day, and I wonder if, like, what was going on? What were you guys doing back then that we don't know about? Because you guys were worshiping a feathered serpent. Like, that's pretty major to see that, And I think that's a
Yeah.
pretty cool thing to tattoo. Maybe you can get that, like a wrapped around your thigh, all sexy and everything. Just be like right here, tattoo artist.
The one Aztec god that I really vibe with that I have researched before is I think it's pronounced Xochipilli.
Xochipilli.
It's like
Never heard of it.
Xochipilli. I don't know how I came across it. It's been a while since I did, but yeah, that's one that I remember really
Yeah,
vibing
man.
with.
I'll hold your hand if you want me to while you get a tattoo. I'll be there
Yeah,
for
like
you.
I said, it's just one of those things where I'm not completely against it. Just haven't really. It's not like my main focus. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go out and get it. Yeah, I just
When
don't.
I
I just
when I
don't know.
meet you in person, we're gonna go get some drinks, and I'm gonna get a tattoo on you by the end of the night.
Oh God, I don't drink. I don't drink either. Oh, I drink actually. I actually drink kombucha.
I have a kombucha in my fridge. I was drinking
Yeah,
it yesterday morning. I try not to drink it all because then I'm in the bathroom the whole day. But I just try to take it in increments.
yeah. It's definitely definitely kickstarts the system for sure.
Yes.
But like that's my only alcoholic that recently. Yeah, I mean alcohol definitely have a history. Nothing like major, but like legal wise, it's just situations.
Yes. I mean, I've always had it difficult with people, drinking. Um, I lost someone close to myself that was uh, a real good friend to mine, and he was my cousin, and lost him to drunk driving, and it does get,
That's
if you
terrible.
don't drink responsibly, it does get pretty bad, and
Exactly. Yep.
so yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you've overcome that, and the life that I see you living now. I mean, you're a very happy person. I don't think alcohol can really have a hold on people's lives and really make a danger to it. Like, how many stories have you heard about an abusive alcoholic father and just not there for his kids or his wife, and it really just
Exactly.
bleeds into people's lives when they get older, because then they start to abuse it, and then they start uh to hurt people and mostly hurt themselves. So
Yep.
something like that, it's always been a big issue for me, because like bars, I feel like no one should, if you drive to a bar, you shouldn't be allowed to drive out with your keys unless you take a breathalyzer test. Like, it should be at least the minimum requirement. But
Right.
hey, that's getting too much into politics. But I'm glad to see that you've gotten over that. I won't peer pressure you into alcohol. That's not something that I will do. But the tattoo, that is a different story.
Yeah, my wife wants me to get tattooed too. It's just one of those things again. If it happens, it happens, man.
What tattoos does she have, if you don't mind me asking?
She has a Greek saying, and it's really pretty. It's with her grandma on her back. I can't remember the whole saying. It's really pretty, but it's like a long. It goes all the way from like the bottom of her back all the way up, and it kind of just wraps around, and it's really pretty, like Greek. So I always
Have you
have to
seen
ask her like what it means.
Have you seen Angelina Jolie's back tattoo?
I've not.
She has this big, I think it was writing too, that goes from the length of her back all the way up to her neck too as well. So it's really cool, intricate tattoos out there that I think are amazing. Tattoo artists
Yeah.
are artists. I'm not gonna lie.
She wants her sleeve done. So I think the actual next tattoo purchase between us would be her sleeve because she's got it all planned out already. So if things like
Ooh.
that, like when it's already planned out, then we're just gonna go for it for sure. Yeah, we're just now starting to look at artists for her sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, if you're ever in Houston, I mean, my guy is really, really good. Soda is his name. You can also search
Soda,
him up.
that is a cool
Yeah,
name.
he's also on Instagram. He's pretty booked a lot. But he tattooed both of my tattoos. I'm probably gonna go to him for a third one, honestly, because he's pretty good. He's talented. Um, last few questions I have for you, Blaze. I promise you.
Oh, no, you're good, man.
Well, with sticking on the topic of spooky season, I mean, have you had anything ghost wise related happen to you? Do you believe in ghosts?
I do. I think it's not like what the many shows or portray, like where you see full figures and stuff like that. It's my wife and I both can see. Well, she more than I, way more than
Mm-hmm.
I. But I see like black shadows, and I've seen one. The most recent one was at my my then girlfriend's, now wife's parents' house, and it looked like there was like this head that was popping around the uh the doorway from the kitchen looking into the living room. Looked at what I thought was the head, but it was just like as soon as I looked, it was like a solid, just like black, like shadow that pulled its head back. Well, what
Mm-hmm.
looked like the shape of the head. And so I
Mm-hmm.
asked, like, is there anything over there in the kitchen? And that's when my wife told me, yeah, there's something in the basement, that like a shadow that she sees in the basement all the time.
Shut
And
up.
and
What?
so she's actually seen like a white figure, like a
Where
white
you
woman
currently
figure.
living?
No, not where I'm currently living. This is
Oh,
back at
okay.
her parents' house. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, I missed that. I missed that.
yeah. This is back at her parents' house. But basically when I first met her years ago, like 12, almost 13 years ago. And yeah, that was like the most recent one. There wasn't really too much happening here. A lot of creepy stuff with my mom's house. Just because I think there was a lot of like negativity and whatnot, and all that can fester some spirits and whatnot. So for me
Mm-hmm.
at that point, I always kind of had like this image of like this this creepy like figure that would be laughing and like running up to you and laughing in your face when you'd be walking. Like I wouldn't see it physically, but just really randomly, it just like one of those images that would just pop into your mind, and it would just like try to like freak you out. And I know it's just like all the negative energy in the house and stuff. So it's like,
You know,
in that same house, my wife, then girlfriend again, um, heard somebody tell her to shut up.
what?
Yeah.
And she only heard it?
Well, she was by herself at that time. But she swears she heard like somebody tell her to shut up.
Oh. So what? I mean, I'd love to have her on and talk about this, but do you know if there's anything that has happened that might have caused her to have this strong connection?
I don't know. She's always been like that. She's just always been
Hmm.
like that. Yeah.
It's intriguing. I mean, myself too. I mean, before you said this, Blaze, I'd never really told anyone, but I've always, yeah, like black shadows would just be in my peripherals, and I see something move. Then when I would look over, I'm like, there's nothing there. When you just explained that, like, then the hairs in the back of my neck kind of stood up because I just thought I was the only one. Like that was something that I just saw. Maybe I was going a little crazy. I'm not just seeing things, or I am seeing things, and I should just ignore that because, I mean, back in the day, we lived in this pretty scary house to where my sister, she was upstairs and my aunt was taking care of her. And she was cooking, doing her own thing downstairs. And she heard my sister upstairs playing. And then all of a sudden, the footsteps got a little bit heavier. After that, my sister, just at the top of the stairs, was asking for my aunt. And she was like, Tia, Ben. And then she stopped what she was doing. And she looked at the top of the stairs. And she was like, my friend wants to say hi to you. And she looked at the door. It was locked. She looked everywhere. The windows were closed. So she got scared and she went upstairs to see, who was she talking to? And then, went into the room and there was nobody there. And she asked her, like, who were you talking to? Who wanted to say hi to me? And she said, well, there was this man. He was in a big black coat and he had boots on, but he was just bones and no skin, just bones and blood.
Wow.
And so that was probably the scariest thing that we had happen in that house. My other sister, whenever we would be outside or, playing, rollerblading, or on our bikes, she said that she kept feeling this presence behind her and this like laughing of a clown, like almost like a clown laughing. That's as much as she experienced as well, until we had like this separate part, like there was like this shed disconnected from the house. She said that she saw a hand reaching down there from a hole, like from the upstairs. And when they went upstairs to check what it was, there was nobody there. They saw the hole. They could look down the hole, but nobody was up there. So it's freaky things like that, and it just makes you wonder what happened. What needs to be cleansed? Is it the energy, like you were saying, or is it just like there's this spirit here that's stuck? It's not able to leave. As we see in a lot of movies, it's always like a token, or it's usually their body is still somewhere in there that it wasn't properly buried, so the spirit just feels like it's still there, and until it can go away properly. And it does get a little spooky at times. I mean, all the stuff from The Conjuring and Annabelle, the fact that that's real, it's been dramatized for Hollywood and things like that, but some of it's real. That story didn't come out of thin air like nothing.
Right.
So there's parts in this world that I feel like are also very full of just negative and dark energy, and we don't know what's going on there. And I don't know, man. There's some things I haven't been able to explain. But on to a different topic that is a lot of, conspiracy and contradicting and, trying to prove it that it's false, is in the fact that aliens. Have you ever had any alien stories that you felt like you might have experienced something that shouldn't be there?
Not maybe specifically aliens. I think we have underestimated what our military is really doing or capable of. So a lot of like the UFO stuff today could be attributed to what our U.S. military is doing. They're never going to tell us what's going on up there. And as far as like their projects, and as far as aliens, I feel like we should probably be more fearful about what's in our oceans than outer space. We're silly to think that we're the only life in outer space, but just the fact that we've only explored like 2% of our oceans, there's definitely other species, or not just like other fish, but there's definitely other species out there, lack of a better word.
It's super easy to hide from us in the ocean. Oh, they see a bright tank with lights coming. Let me just go that way in the other big part of the ocean. So even if we do explore it, like, what if we don't catch it? Have you heard of the conspiracy theory of squid and octopus?
The squid? No.
That they're not from our world. That when they lay eggs, they look like alien eggs.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy too as well. I mean, the Bermuda Triangle, why do things keep getting lost there? What's happening there?
I think there's like a lot of underground pyramids underneath
Ooh,
the water that we don't know of in the area that are generating a lot of energy still, creating all kinds of havoc on our electrical systems.
a city of Atlantic. Have you ever heard about that one?
Yep. I think that one is probably Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, you think that's where it's located? Ooh.
Pretty sure.
Well, let's go take a fishing boat and find out.
Right. Yeah, right.
No, we die
If not
immediately.
that, it's definitely military. Another
Oh yeah,
military installation.
yeah, and it's just like, why aren't more people wanting to search it? Is the restrictions, or is it you can't go there? Why isn't there like a mass people just saying we need to figure out what the hell's over there? But maybe you're right; they are too scared because
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go. Someone else do it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think aliens are real. I think they might be here. They might be hiding, but I feel like they're definitely out there in our universe. Same with the ocean. How much has been explored? Only a small percentage. So I think if we can explore our ocean first, I think then we can move on to space. But yeah, I wonder what's hiding within our communities. That's the scary part. There was
Yep.
a movie that recently. Do you have Hulu? Do you watch movies on Hulu?
I do.
There's a new movie that just came out. I think it's called You Won't Survive. And it's an alien movie about, you know, there's a big number. I think there's 100,000, 100 certain break-ins and homes every year. And, this one's different because the one breaking into their house is an actual alien. I recommend it because that movie gave me the heebie-jeebies. One of the things that scares me is people walking really fast and like heavy on wood floors, but you can't see where they're coming from. Like that makes me feel uneasy. Just hearing that noise, and I feel like that's a good survival movie and kind of fearful movie. I recommend it. Spooky time. Getting cuddle up with the wife and getting scared. I think it's a good movie to see. It's a brand new one on Hulu. Um, I I think that's pretty terrifying because it's possible that at any time aliens can break into a house and
What was the
from the
movie called
likes of that
again?
movie. You Won't Survive, I
You
believe.
Won't Survive. I
Hulu.
gotta see which one that my wife recently watched. There was some other similar alien movie that she was watching where I remember this one scene where all the people were looking up in the sky and had their hand up towards the sky, and they kind of like caught her looking at them, and
No
um,
one will save you. I'm sorry, I gave that to you wrong. No
I
one will save
think
you.
I think that's the movie she was. I think that's the movie.
Yeah, because at one point of the movie, everyone was raising their hands to the sky.
Yep. Okay, that's the movie. I didn't. I gotta watch it myself. I know she was watching that while I was
Hey man, she
I was
gave you a
working and
good
whatnot.
recommendation. Some,
That sounds cool. I haven't had a good like extraterrestrial movie
oh yeah, it's pretty good. But
in a
don't tell her
while.
I told you. Say that you came up with like, hey babe, you were watching that movie. I kind of want to watch it now. Let's watch it again. Because I've learned that in a marriage, that if your wife tells you something first, do it. And then if another person says this is a pretty good idea, don't make it seem like it was their idea that made you push them. Be like, oh babe, remember that you're talking about not too long ago? Let's do it. Yeah. Don't make me feel like I gave you the confidence to watch it. give her
No, no,
give her that
no.
love.
She loves just putting on shows and movies when she's doing her thing. So it was like, yeah, I was kind of like going in like, she's like, yeah, it's a good movie. So she would definitely watch it with me.
Yes.
Again. So yeah, I'm gonna check that one out.
Yes, we just watched that one, and because we just finished rewatching the Harry Potter series, and just kind of like to put us in the Halloween mood and everything like that. I love those movies.
Yeah,
Um, do you have
she
any
loves it.
favorite movies? I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, my wife loves Disney movies. Um,
Same here. My wife is a big Disney movie fanatic.
I think it's got to be Zombieland.
Zombieland. I would have not because it's really.
Zombieland, yeah. Like
It's a
Matrix
great
and all
movie.
that, like those are all good movies. I just like those quirky, making fun of future apocalypse setting type movies. I don't know. It's just it puts a funny spin on what
You know what?
on what the traditional, like very it puts a different spin on a very saturated zombie genre. There's so many of like this spooky zombie stuff. So it's like, okay, let's make it fun, you know?
Have you? You probably have. Have you seen Shaun of the Dead?
Yes.
That's a
That's
personal
another
favorite
one.
zombie movie. That's a good zombie movie.
Yeah,
Love that one. So I mean, yeah, though I mean, zombie movie related wise, I would say those are some pretty top tier movies. Um,
agreed. Yeah, just because again they put a different spin on such a saturated zombie market.
a serious zombie movie that I love is World War Z. I feel like that one is a really good one. I feel like
The game's
story.
fun.
I have
Yeah,
not played the game.
the movie's cool. The game is really cool. It's a multiplayer game. I'm playing that on Wednesday mornings. If you want to join in. But yeah, that one is that was a lot of fun, especially with co-op.
I'm gonna have to because I want to see it. I think I've gotten recommendations about the game before. See, if I've given you a recommendation about a movie, you're about to give me one about a game. Look at that.
Yeah, World War Z. I've only played it twice now, and I've been enjoying it. Playing with another friend, Hit Marks, for weeks.
Mhm.
Shout out, and
Shout
him and his
out.
wife we're gonna try to get them on as well for World War Z. But yeah, if y'all enjoy, if you and your wifey enjoy the Left 4 Dead kind of games, that's exactly what it
Oh
is. But I
yes,
feel like it's a little bit more polished, has different mechanics,
I
way
used to
more
love that
zombies.
game. Oh, that game was so much. Left 4 Dead. Oh, I loved it.
We're having trouble on even normal difficulty. But there's two, like, I think there's three higher difficulties above normal, I
Yikes.
believe. Yeah, so it's like, it's a good challenge.
Am I gonna have to take you up on it? I mean, we haven't played Texas Chainsaw in a while, so I mean, I think that's still her game. But if I get her on World War Z, maybe I can get her off of that game.
Hey, we're still playing Texas Chainsaw 2. That's a cool game.
Right, I've enjoyed that a lot. Really good game out there, and if anyone wants to join, I'll play Leatherface and I'll kill all y'all.
Yeah. Do you stream?
I haven't. Remember that one time you gave me a shout out when I joined your Twitch?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was the last time I streamed, and
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
at that point I was streaming Call of Duty, and I wasn't like being competitive or just being out there how many kills or victory royales. I was really just playing search and destroy with a riot shield, claymores.
Hey.
If you looked at my content, it's I was like editing videos, like making like duck noises or cat noises whenever a claymore would go off. Or my favorite thing to do would be to find someone with the riot shield, flashbang them, get behind them, and then kill them. And I've
Oh,
done that quite a few times.
with the finisher.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's my favorite thing to do in Call of Duty because people take it way too serious,
Oh,
you
they
know,
do.
and it gets way out of hand too quick.
Oh
So
yeah.
I mean,
We always have fun, poke fun on those players in Call of Duty. That's
right,
cool that you
right.
play Call of Duty.
I do. I play Call of Duty. I love FIFA. I'm about to get the new one. FIFA. Oh, it's
It's kind of like
FEFC.
FC. Yeah.
FC 24. I love that one. I love Texas Chainsaw. Dying Light is a big one. If you're ever into, are you into historical things and like treasures and things like that?
I kind of, sorta. Yeah.
Best game I've ever played on that was Uncharted. Maybe you can
Oh,
even
okay.
stream
Okay.
that. I highly recommend that you stream that because I had so much fun. The story in there is amazing so much that
Is
they
that a
made it into the
PlayStation?
movie. Yes, it is a PlayStation one.
Okay. Okay.
They made it into the movie, and then another one that from PlayStation is The Last of Us that they made into the TV show.
Yes.
They're great games to play. I recommend that. Uncharted, and it goes all the way. They have like 4 games, so I just recommend playing maybe 1 to 3 if you have the time. But it's a great game about like history, finding treasure,
Is
and
it historically
exploring.
accurate?
I think it is. It's pretty onto the things that they kind of just like exaggerate. You'll see, but it's pretty historically accurate. Um, and then it's a lot of puzzles that that you have to figure out, that you have to line things together to make it open up a door to find a clue. Big recommendation from me, Blaze. So if you ever have the time.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be on my list. There's so many games I'm gonna play. The next one I'm gonna play is Far Cry. I only played 3, but
Never played Far
yeah,
Cry here.
yeah. The third one I played was really cool. I heard the latest one wasn't as great, but the first few are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Is there any games that you're looking forward to?
Stalker 2.
Stalker 2. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be replaying those actually shortly here, just because I got some of my videos for that got messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be replaying all the Stalker series games.
That seems fun.
I love it that much. Yeah, it's really fun. It's open world. What is it? Like open world Chernobyl area kind of like irradiated monsters, anomalies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really, really cool environment, I think.
Are you big into Assassin's Creed at all?
I used to be. I played the very first one and fell in love with that. I think by Odyssey, I want to say. Maybe even before that. I think once they started going on to like the Nintendo handhelds at that time, it started becoming too much.
Yeah, I got into it on Black Flag, and I tried to finish it, but I just couldn't get into it because it was just mostly about pirates and, sailing. But when they came out with Odyssey, I just engulfed myself into that game, dude. I loved learning about Greek mythology, just how they had it, and just how you can just really use all those weapons too. I loved Honda. I almost said Honda Odyssey, dude. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then we got Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that's what made me want to get the tattoo, the Vigil, because I really love the just education and just the historical data that they were just showing off of that game. I love those games. It's a personal favorite of mine.
I like God of War. God of War is, if I had to choose between the two, it would be God of War for me.
Have you played the new one?
Not the new one. Another one I've also played, just the first one, maybe the second one, but yeah, I have not played the most recent ones. It's been a while since I've had a PC and gaming system. We actually just recently built these within the last like 3-4 years. Before that, yeah, we were out of like just going through our own little trial in life, I would say. But overall, worked out in the end. It was worth it.
I'm excited.
But yeah, I just haven't had any kind of PC or gaming until recently. So I feel like I'm catching up on all this stuff now.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting. I'm excited for you, to see your journey and see you play these games. Anything big coming up for you, Blaze, that you want to plug in?
So I am also going to start reading H.P. Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu. So that'll be like an hour or two most evenings through October. Yeah, so I'm excited. I've been meaning to read some of his books. In fact, the H.P. Lovecraft is also called out in Dying Light 2 when you return the books to the librarian. One of the books that you return is H.P. Lovecraft's collection, which is really cool. I came across that yesterday, and I was like the past couple of weeks kind of determining, well, what can I read? Originally, it was going to be the Metro 2033 book, but due to copyright laws, I just didn't want to go down that path. And with the author being in Russian jail right now for 15 years, I figured it might be a little bit difficult to get his permission to read his book on stream. So I might have to go with an alternative, which H.P. Lovecraft is now public, was it realm, or what's that word? It's now in the public domain. So yeah, I can use it now.
Awesome. So I'm excited for that one because I've never read of that, and the passion that you speak about it sounds very intriguing to me. So
It's a
excited for
reason
you on
why
that.
it's a reason why he's a very good author. It's a classic story. It's redone and annotated in so many formats, but I'll be reading the actual open source version that's just available on the archive website.
Mm-hmm. Spooky season coming up, everyone. So yeah, I
Yeah,
highly recommend coming on there and taking a listen. Are you going to be camera on or camera off?
it'll be Cameron. Yep.
All right, you get to see Blaze's sweet face and listen to his sweet voice as well. Serenade you while he listens to that book or reads that book. Excuse me.
I appreciate you.
Anytime, please. Oh, that is my leg. Ouch.
Oh,
Anytime. Anything
careful,
else that you
man.
wish to say? Any goals that you're reaching out to?
I just wish everyone be successful in your ventures. Don't hold back from going forth with your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that one idea, that first idea that pops into your head, just follow through with it. I've been practicing a lot of that myself. Just, hey, have an idea, sounds good, just go through with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been finding a lot of really cool things have been happening from that. So
Absolutely.
that's what I suggest is just try new things. Don't be afraid. Be yourself, and you'll definitely find your tribe.
Absolutely. I don't know if I told you yet. I sent my letter to open mic, and hopefully I get accepted to go on. And
Oh, your
soon,
comedy, yeah, your stand-up
yes,
comedy.
yes,
Hey,
very
I'm sending
soon.
you.
If you're in the Houston area, it's gonna be at the Riot Comedy Club. Hopefully on Monday, October 23rd. Support your boy if you want to come out. It's free.
Yeah.
You just got to sign up. The Riot Comedy Club. If you're not going to be there, I'm hopefully going to be able to record it and post it. So if you can see it online and hopefully laugh with me and not at me. So it'll go good. I'm excited for it.
It'll go good.
I'm ready for it to start and make people laugh. That's what I want to do is just make people laugh.
Yeah, you got this, man. Don't be nervous. That's really cool. Sending you all the good vibes, positive energies.
I feel it.
Got this, man.
I feel it. Thank you so much for coming on again. Because this, as you guys don't know, this was actually our second podcast because our first one, my dumbass, had technical difficulties. But we are good now. Hopefully we sound great to you guys. We want to thank you again for listening to this podcast. I want to thank Blaze again for coming on and putting up with my technical difficulties but hey, it happens. But we're here now. We had a great time again. Honestly, every time I talk to you, I have a great time. Likewise, excited to have you on in the future, hopefully with Sugar, and I can get my wife on here and we can make bad decisions because bringing on our wives and talking shit on us is probably not going to be good, but hey,
I feel like our wives could do the whole show, honestly.
Right. We'll just be on the back burner. Just, yep.
Yeah, my wife she loves to talk, my wife. So she can honestly do the whole show by herself if y'all just wanted to.
You know what, Blaze? I think I might take, because my wife loves talking too. Like she's good at that as well. So we'll let them do the whole podcast next time.
Right. Yep. There you go.
I can't thank you guys again so many times. Thank you. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out on Twitter at @SSDD_podcast or on Instagram at @SSDD_pod. Thank you guys for listening. We love you all and have a great day.
Peace, y'all.